I got some mail. Woo! All that fresh carbon from MQC Reppin'. Thanks, guys. No, but seriously, Nick and Travis, thank you for the carbon fiber pieces. It helps keep me in the air, and I appreciate it. But let's talk about sponsorships. Because as race season approaches, I'm starting to see kind of conversation around new racers wondering how they can get sponsored. And I even get asked sometimes how to get sponsors. And listen, I'm not the best person to talk about this. Like for a few reasons. Like one, I don't actually have that many sponsors, and I don't even like the word sponsor. I like to think that I work with or I'm supported by X, Y, Z. So I work with and I'm supported by MQC, and so I fly MQC frames. But people are curious about it, and I think part of it is that, you know, people want free stuff. And yeah, I mean, the parts are nice and I appreciate it, but for me, it's not so much about that. I like to say I'm working with a company because that's what I really like to do. I like to have relationships with companies, and so I think that I work with MQC, and I, you know, get to test out products before they come out. I get to give design input, which, I mean, I really enjoy the idea that I can bounce ideas off of Nick and maybe come up with something and even draw it out, and then it's on the website in a week or so. Like, and that certain things that I thought of are integrated into the product. Like, I think that's very fun. I'm not really interested in sponsorships where someone gives me free stuff and then I go and blast all over Instagram like, oh my God, this is the best motor ever. I'm not gonna do that. I don't think that's for me. But I do want to work with and develop mutually supportive relationships with more companies as this career in all of this continues to develop, and I look forward to having more opportunities to do that sort of thing as long as it's right for me and right for them. So if you want to be sponsored by a company, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And if you're wondering how you can do that, I guess I just want to share some thoughts I have on that. I guess what I'd want to say is think about what you can bring to the table with any company that you want to be associated with. It makes sense for people who do races to want to be sponsored because companies are always looking for competitors that do well, and if you win races, then they can say that their product helped win you the race, and it's a win-win for both people. So you get product that helps keep you in the air, and they get to say that their products are winning races. So, I mean, that sort of thing makes sense, but if you're not a racer, if you're like me and you do freestyle videos, you have to think like, what do you bring to the table? So like I mentioned, I have engineering background, so I can actually contribute like design ideas. I can help with that sort of thing, and I really enjoy getting to do that. And then I also have this vlog thing. So opportunities have come to me for companies that want to work with me or do something like that because there's like a marketing opportunity here. And let me interject and say that if you then think that, okay, I'll just start talking to the camera and that's a great way to get free stuff, I don't think that's necessarily a great idea, because to do a good vlog, like, this isn't easy, and I don't talk about the difficulties of making videos because I don't want to whine, and I also really enjoy doing it. So I don't usually mention it, but I'll just say like this is work. And I made a whole video previously about the people that say that vlogging is ruining the hobby and that we only do it for attention, and it's like, no, I mean, like, this is an art form to me, whether you agree or not. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I mean, I've said my piece on that, so I like doing this. Let me just drop that one. But in my eyes, that's what I can bring to the table. So you might bring a competitive skill set for racing where you go to a bunch of events and you're going to be winning events while representing a company. So like, that's a good selling point. Or you might enjoy making videos like this, and that can be a good selling point. Or maybe you are really good at social media and you can do lots of posts that make a product look good. That's not my thing, but if it's your thing, like, you can do that. That's cool. I mean, do your thing. So if you want to get involved with companies, I would encourage you to really think of it as a relationship and don't do it for the free stuff, and think about what you bring to the table and what they can bring to the table. And if you're going to approach a company, I guess my advice would be lead with why you like their company, what specifically about their brand attracts you to them, then get to the point of kind of what you want from them, even just in loose terms, like what you would expect out of a relationship, and then close with what you would provide for them. I mean, really drive home what events you're going to go to or what type of content you're going to make, kind of why they'll benefit from you. That's just my 2 bits on how to get sponsored if that's something that you're interested in. Beyond that, just think carefully about who you really want to be associated with, because like there are things that come with that. So like there have been companies that have reached out to me that want to do like a sponsorship sort of relationship, and maybe it didn't work out because even though if I really liked the product, there were certain things maybe that had to do with a lack of distribution in the United States, for example, that made me not want to be sponsored by them. That, you know, even though I'm happy to test their products for them and, you know, use them in videos and things like that, I'm not going to say that I am directly affiliated with or sponsored by this company because of these other drawbacks that just mean that I don't want to limit myself or endorse a product that might be hard for you guys to actually get your hands on. Stuff like that. And the flip side of that is I've actually reached out to companies and said, oh, I really like this product, I already use it, and I think there are ways that I could help you improve it or promote it or things like that. And well, actually what's funny about this specific case that I'm thinking of is their response was, oh, we don't need anyone to do reviews and we're not interested in sending out free product. And I was like, guys, I already have the product. I just think we could talk about ways to make it better. But they didn't get it, they weren't interested in working, like that's fine. So for me, it's just very important that both parties are interested in the relationship and that working together can be mutually beneficial. That I can support whoever is sponsoring me and they can support me. I feel kind of weird talking about this stuff because there's this weird stigma around like getting sponsored by a company and like selling out to that. I don't know. Like I said, I think as I continue to build my personal brand for being an FPV pilot and a vlogger and things like that, I look forward to more mutually beneficial relationships, and I'll be transparent about that. So that's another reason that I wanted to make this video, is to kind of go on record and share my thoughts and how I want to approach things so that I can hold myself to that and, you know, stuff. I think I've said everything I had to say about this subject. This was a nice break from work. I'm gonna do a little bit more, then I'm meeting up with Emily later, and I'll probably drag her to a spot to do a little bit of flying. Do you guys like that thumbnail? Just to be clear, those weren't actually all 20s. It was mainly ones with like a 20 on front. I think that's called stacking. We got a schmeb.
Hey.
Where should we go fly?